Improve your English listening and speaking. Welcome. Let's improve your English listening and speaking together. Today's story is a short adventure for fluency practice. Listen carefully. When you see a bell icon, pause and repeat out loud. Let's begin. The morning sun was bright. It filled the streets with a warm golden light. A young woman named Chloe was walking to her favorite cafe. Chloe pushed open the heavy wooden door of the cafe. A little bell chimed above her head, welcoming her to a new day. She paused at the entrance, reading the sign, "The Daily Grind." She practiced saying it softly to herself, "The Daily Grind." Inside, the cafe was alive with sounds, the hiss of the espresso machine, the murmur of conversation, and the clink of cups. The cafe was already busy. The hiss of the espresso machine filled the air. Chloe smiled at the barista Marco, who was busy making coffee. She practiced, "Good morning, Marco." "Good morning, Chloe," said Marco, the friendly barista. Chloe replied, "Good morning." She felt proud to use her English. She ordered, "One latte, please." She sat at her usual table by the window, watching people walk by. She looked out the window and read the signs on the street: bakery, bookstore, library. She practiced each word quietly. The smell of fresh coffee. The foam on top had a perfect heart shape. She took a sip and practiced, "This coffee is delicious." She smiled, enjoying the moment. Tucked under the saucer was a small, folded piece of paper. It looked old, folded into a neat square. Her curiosity was instantly sparked. She asked the person at the next table, "Excuse me, did you drop this?" The person shook their head and smiled. She slowly unfolded it. "Where stories sleep and silence speaks, find your next sweet treat." Chloe practiced reading the note out loud, slowly. "Where stories sleep and silence speaks, find your next sweet treat." She looked around. No one seemed to warn. Marco was busy at the counter. She stood up and asked another customer, "Do you know what this means?" The customer shrugged. "Sorry, I don't." She decided. It didn't matter if it was for her. It was an adventure. Chloe stood, took a deep breath, and said to herself, "I can do this." She practiced, "I can do this. It's an adventure." The town library was only a few blocks away. She walked down the street, reading signs out loud: library, cafe, park. She practiced each word as she passed. It was a beautiful old building made of red brick with arched windows. She stopped to admire the library's entrance. She practiced, "Excuse me, is this the library?" Inside, the only sound was the soft rustle of pages. Chloe walked between the shelves, reading the titles out loud: poetry, cookbooks, novels. Where stories sleep and silence speaks, find your next sweet treat. She asked the librarian, "Excuse me, where can I find cookbooks?" The librarian pointed to a shelf. She searched the fiction and poetry shelves. She found a cookbook placed on top of a collection of Robert Frost's poems. A cookbook in the poetry section. She found a cookbook placed on top of a collection of Robert Frost's poems. A cookbook in the poetry section. She opened it, hoping for another clue. On the chocolate chip cookies page, a sentence was underlined in the same faded blue ink. She practiced reading the underlined sentence. "To find the best, go to the one who puts his work to the test, on the corner of Oak and West." To find the best, go to the one who puts his work to the test, on the corner of Oak and West. Chloe smiled, feeling excited. She practiced, "I found a clue, I can follow it." Oak and West, a location. Chloe studied the clue, her fingers tracing the faded ink. She felt a spark of excitement. She left the library, the door swinging shut behind her. Outside, the town was alive with sounds. Birds singing, cars passing, people talking. Chloe walked down the street, repeating the clue to herself: "Where stories sleep and silence speaks." She stopped to read a street sign, checking for Oak and West. She approached an elderly woman sitting on a bench. "Excuse me," Chloe said politely. "Do you know where Oak and West is?" The woman smiled and pointed down the road. "Thank you so much," Chloe replied. She continued walking, noticing the shops and cafes along the way. She read signs out loud to practice her English: bakery, post office, florist. She stopped at a crosswalk, waiting for the light to change. She took a deep breath and thought, "I can do this. It's an adventure." She ran through possible places. Not a bank, not a post office, but a bakery. She smiled, remembering the cookbook clue. Chloe asked a young man with a dog, "Is there a bakery near here?" He nodded. "Yes, the rolling pin is at the corner of Oak and West." "Thank you," she said, feeling more confident. She turned the corner and saw the bakery's sign swaying in the breeze. On the corner stood the rolling pin, a small, charming bakery. The windows were filled with fresh bread and pastries. She paused outside, watching customers laugh and chat inside. The smell of baked goods drifted through the door. She stepped inside. Warm bread and sugar-scented air wrapped around her. She smiled at the baker behind the counter. "Hello," she said. "I'm looking for a clue. I found this note in a cookbook." She showed the paper to the baker. The baker, a kind, flour-dusted man, was there. His name was Mr. Henderson. He read the note and nodded. "Ah, you found it," he said. "I have something for you." He turned to the shelves, searching for a box. She told him about the note and the cookbook. He listened carefully, smiling. Chloe looked around the bakery. She saw families, friends, and students enjoying treats. She thought, "English is everywhere. I can practice anywhere." He reached under the counter and pulled out a small white box tied with a red ribbon. Chloe's eyes widened. "This is for you," Mr. Henderson said. "Open it when you have a quiet moment." Chloe thanked him, feeling grateful and curious. The tag read, "Marco, 3 p.m., The Daily Grind." Chloe smiled, recognizing the name. She blushed. Marco from the cafe. She wondered what would happen next. Mr. Henderson smiled. "Good luck. Enjoy the cookies," he said. Chloe waved goodbye and left the bakery. She left with the box in her hands, her mind buzzing with questions and happiness. She sat on a bench outside, opened the box, and saw 6 warm chocolate chip cookies. She took a bite and smiled. She sat on a bench and untied the ribbon. Inside, 6 warm chocolate chip cookies. She felt proud of her English and her adventure. The chocolate was soft and melted. The edges were crispy, the center chewy. She savored each bite. Chloe looked at the tag again. "Marco, 3 p.m., The Daily Grind." She checked the time. She still had a few minutes. She replayed the morning. Note, library, cookbook, bakery. Each step a small joy. She felt ready for the next chapter. The tag said 3 p.m. It was 2:30. She had time to return. She stood up, determined to finish the adventure. She walked back to where her day had begun, her heart light and her English stronger. At exactly 3 o'clock she stepped inside, ready for whatever came next. The cafe was quieter in the afternoon. Marco was behind the counter, wiping down cups and humming softly. The air smelled of fresh coffee and warm pastries. Chloe entered, her heart beating a little faster. She looked around and saw a few customers reading, some practicing English with phrase books, and others chatting quietly. She placed the empty cookie box on the counter. "I believe I am supposed to meet a Mr. Marco here at 3 p.m., she said playfully. Marco smiled, a little nervous. "You solved my clues," he said. "I wasn't sure if you would." He let out a breath, relieved. He said, "I was hoping you would solve the puzzle." Chloe laughed. "I love a good mystery," she replied, "and I love practicing my English with you." "I wanted to ask you out," he said. "I didn't want to just interrupt you or ask for your number." Chloe blushed, looking down at her hands. "This is the most creative invitation I've ever received," she said. "I wanted to give you a story worth writing about." Marco handed her a small note. It read, "Practice makes perfect. Say it with me. I would love that." She was touched. She said, "You definitely gave me a story to write about." The customers in the cafe smiled, noticing the exchange. One young woman practiced English phrases with her friend. "Can I have a coffee, please?" "Of course. Would you like milk or sugar?" he asked. "So, is that a yes?" Chloe nodded, smiling. "Yes, Marco, I would love that." Her voice was clear and confident. "Yes, Marco," she said, "I would love that." Marco laughed, relaxing. "English isn't easy," he said, "but you make it fun." Chloe replied, "Practice makes perfect. Let's practice together." The day had been a puzzle. The destination was even better. The start of something new. Chloe and Marco sat together, sharing coffee and cookies. They practiced simple phrases. "How was your day?" "My day was great, thank you." "What did you do today?" "I solved a mystery." "Listen, say I would love that." Notice the rhythm. I would love that. Chloe practiced the phrase slowly and clearly. I would love that. Marco repeated it and they both laughed. The cafe felt warm and safe. Words to practice: adventure, clue, invitation, delight. Chloe wrote the words in her notebook: adventure, clue, invitation, delight. She practiced pronouncing each one slowly. Chloe followed the clues: a note, a library, a cookbook, a bakery, and found a kind surprise. She looked around the cafe and saw others practicing English too. A man read a newspaper out loud. A group of students practiced dialogues. What would you like to drink? I'd like a tea, please. Every conversation is an adventure. Every word you practice is a step toward fluency. Chloe smiled, feeling proud. She knew that every small step, every practice line made her English stronger. She looked at Marco and said, "Thank you for this adventure." Practice. Every word you practice is a step toward fluency. Repeat slowly. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me. I can practice English every day. I am not afraid to make mistakes. I enjoy learning new words. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Keep speaking. Chloe looked out the window, thinking about her day. She felt grateful for the chance to practice, to connect, and to begin something new. We'll repeat the best lines again before the outro. Now let's practice the key lines together. Repeat after me. Where stories sleep and silence speaks, find your next sweet treat. To find the best, go to the one who puts his work to the test on the corner of Oak and West. I wanted to ask you out. I wanted to give you a story worth writing about. Yes, Marco, I would love that. Repeat after me. Adventure, clue, invitation, delight. Practice a short dialogue. I found a note at the cafe. Really? Where did it lead? Let's practice asking for directions. Excuse me, can you help me? Where's the library? Now, ordering food. I'd like a coffee, please. Would you like milk or sugar? Just milk, thank you. Making small talk. How are you today? I'm great, thank you. And you? I'm good too. Expressing gratitude. Thank you so much for your help. You're welcome. Have a great day. At the store. How much is this? It's $10. Can I pay by card? Yes, of course. At home. What did you do today? I practiced English and met new friends. Remember, speak slowly, focus on rhythm, and enjoy the process. A note, a library, a cookbook, a bakery, and a smile. The day became a story. Say this. Every conversation is an adventure. Keep listening. Keep speaking. Every word you practice helps. Let's practice more useful phrases. Can you help me? I'm looking for the bus stop. What time is it? It's 3 o'clock. At a restaurant. Can I see the menu, please? I'd like the soup of the day. Can I have the bill, please? Meeting someone new. Hi, my name is Chloe. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Expressing feelings. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to learn English. I'm proud of my progress. Remember, mistakes are part of learning. Don't be afraid to try. Subscribe to Listen and Speak English. Stories podcast for more practice. Click the bell to get new lessons. The best stories happen when you least expect them. Thank you for practicing with us today. Goodbye. See you next time. Keep listening and speaking. Remember, you can practice English anywhere, anytime. You're doing great. Music, YouTube audio library, voiceover, American accent. Thanks for watching.